Knicks family, what's popping with you? Is your boy. Looks like it's just me right now, ladies and gentlemen. Kind of, not really impromptu, but kind of impromptu. Just want to talk. You know, so we're just going to do a live call-in session. The phone lines are available. Let me make sure, because, you know, I've been having some problems, some issues with the phone lines. Yep, looks like the phone lines are up and going. You can call in 516-405-2246. And we're just going to talk Knicks. Start off with a game reflection, though. Because last night, the New York Knicks, ladies and gentlemen, they took down the Chicago Bulls. And it was a game that, in my mind, I felt like we should have won, which we did. But I was also nervous because, like any Knicks fan, there's still a little bit of fear. A little bit of fear within you that says, these guys are going to drop the ball at any time. Just a little bit. Because why wouldn't it be? The Knicks have been bad for a long time. And now they're finally good. For a lot of Knicks fans out there, and, you know, some Knicks fans are afraid to buy in. Some are like, you know, okay, they're doing this, that, and the third, but they're still not good enough for whatever. So they're just a little bit afraid to buy in to everything that's happening with the New York Knicks right now. So the skepticism, I understand it. So I was a little bit nervous about that game because, you know, we went on a 9-game win streak, lost to the Phoenix Suns. And then how do we rebound to the Chicago Bulls? The Knicks did a great job rebounding, by the way. Great job rebounding. They came out similar, very similar to the way that they came out versus the Phoenix Suns. As a matter of fact, the entire game was kind of similar to the way that they played the Phoenix Suns. You know, kind of similar. They jumped out, you know, with the Suns. They jumped out to a 15-point lead. Then they let the Suns crawl back into the game. With the Suns, it took a little bit longer for them to really get very close. Right? But they chipped and they chipped and they chipped and they chipped. And then finally, in the third quarter, the Suns took the lead. The same thing happened with the Chicago Bulls last night. The Knicks jumped out to an 18-point lead, and then the Bulls chipped and chipped and chipped. But they got a lot closer, a lot quicker. So that's an issue that the Knicks got, you know, they've got to address it going down the stretch. Look, against the Phoenix Suns, I expected them to come back. Against the Bulls, I expected the Knicks to put them away. Two different teams. I wanted the Knicks to put the Bulls away. Didn't happen. I get it. Teams are going to go on runs. But I think a team like the Bulls, you got to put them away. I think that last night's game, though, you know, it went through mountains and valleys, up and down, mountains and valleys, right? Like I said, they jumped out to the 18-point lead, then they lost it. By the third quarter, the Bulls had taken the lead. The Knicks go into the fourth quarter, and they turn it up. They turn it on. That's the hallmark of a good team, in my opinion. That's the hallmark of a good team. You know, they get into that fourth quarter, they turned it on. They felt like and they knew that they could flex their muscle. And throughout the game last night, although the Bulls, I didn't get excited like I normally would have. Right? I wasn't up hollering, screaming, yelling, throwing remotes and all of that kind of stuff. Because I didn't feel like the Bulls were a threat. I felt like the Knicks could turn it on and flex their muscle at any moment. And that's what they did in the fourth quarter. That's what they did. But still, I think that it is an issue that the Knicks must address, because in the playoffs, when you're playing very good teams, and if the Knicks remain in the fourth seed, they're going to play, or the fifth seed, they're going to play a very good team in the playoffs. The Boston Celtics. I'm thinking right now, probably not the Atlanta Hawks. I feel like the Atlanta Hawks may slide just a little bit because Trae Young is out. the Miami Heat. We haven't beaten the Miami Heat this year. As a matter of fact, 2 of the games that we played against the Miami Heat, we had double-digit leads, and we ended up losing the game. It's been something all season long that we've had to deal with, right? Building leads, losing them. Building leads, and then losing them again. So it's something that we've really got to focus on down the stretch of this season. 9 more games left to the season. But what I liked about last night is that the Knicks, it's like that Phoenix Suns game was an affirmation for this team that they are good. It was an affirmation for me. I won't lie to you. It was an affirmation for me. Because, and like I said, going into that Bulls game, I was, still, and my man in the chat, big shout out to everybody that's in the chat. My man Jason Jameson said apprehension. There's some apprehension there with this team still. Right, so yeah, going into the Suns game, I still kind of apprehensive, but we're riding a 9-game win streak, and then they lose, and so I'm looking to say, okay, how does this team rebound? And they come out and they rebound. The game goes up and down. It gets tight. They don't get nervous. They pull the game out. I think it says a lot about this team and where they are mentally. I believe that this team feels like they are or can compete with the top teams in the league. Have they taken a loss against the top teams in the league? Yes, they have. But I feel like they're right there. And I feel like they know that if they do some of those little things, like execute down the stretch, executing means make sure you get your hands on every ball when it's thrown to you. Make sure your pass is on point when you make it. Make sure you're killing those defensive rotations. Make sure you don't let a guy go back door, especially in the fourth quarter. You understand? And I feel like this team, that they feel like if we can get those little things, we can compete with the best of them. And you know what? They probably can. They probably can, because they have some things that other teams that don't have. A big part of it is chemistry. And this team, they play off of chemistry. Chemistry is a big part of what they do. A big part of what they do, right? Chemistry. All the pieces fit together like pieces of a puzzle, cogs fitting together to make a machine work. That's what this team is. And when you take a piece out, you got to throw a piece in that fills in that cog. And Tom Thibodeau looks for similar pieces, right? When Reggie Bullock goes out with foul trouble, he thinks about coming in with Frank Ntilikina. Why? Because Frank can play defense. And so far this season, when Frank has played, he's knocked down a three-point shot. So he looks for a piece that fills in the cog. That's how this team is built right now. And that's okay. And if they do some of those little things, and, maybe they can do something special. I won't define what special is, but maybe they can do something special. Alec Burks is going to be back. We don't know when. He's back with the team. And he will, probably go through a few days of getting in shape, getting his wind back, getting back in rhythm, all those things. I had COVID-19, and it takes a toll on your lungs. As a matter of fact, it attacks your lungs. And I still sometimes get shortness of breath. I'm going to basketball practice after this show. I'm going to basketball practice. And I can guarantee you when I'm in basketball practice, I'm going to get some shortness of breath as I'm moving around and coaching and doing some things like that. So he's going to be back. And before he went out, Alec Burks was, he didn't have great games every game, but in the fourth quarter, he was great. And he provided a big guard that can create off the dribble. A big guard that can create off the dribble. And the reason why I say big guard and emphasize big guard is because, Derrick Rose is 6'2", 6'3". It's hard for him to get over top of that 6'10 guy, 6'11 guy. Alec Burks is about 6'6". When he gets in the air, he makes himself 7 foot when he jumps in the air to shoot a jump shot, right? So he can get over those extended hands. He can shoot over those extended hands a little bit better. So we're going to need Alec Burks coming down the stretch, and, hopefully he recovers and his wind is there and he's able to provide everything that we need coming down the stretch as far as being able to score in the clutch. I'm convinced if we have Alec Burks there, we beat the Phoenix Suns. Call me crazy if you want to. But I am convinced if we have Alec Burks there, we beat the Phoenix Suns. Because, we struggled down the stretch of that game. We couldn't find shots. Of course, they played some great defense down the stretch of that game, which the Phoenix Suns do. Right? Because they're a very good defensive team. So, yeah, I'm convinced that we win that game. Or at least have a better chance of winning the game. Let me say that. I got my man Crossover Kev here with me. Oh. No. It's Crossover. Come on, man. Give it to me, brother. It's Crossover, man. It's Crossover with a K. That's what I'm saying. It's Crossover with a K. He don't like the name. He don't like the name Crossover Kev. I don't know why. You know what I'm saying? That's an inside joke, ladies and gentlemen. We can't let that out. For whatever reason, he don't like that name, though. But we'll keep the joke in house. We'll keep it. We'll keep the joke in house. Let me get this unmuted real quick and let Cornerstone Crossover get his thing in. What's going on with you, man? I'm gonna get your video over in just a second. What's going on with you?
Okay. Oh, I'm doing great, man. Doing great. It's just amazing that we're at this point, because talking about, playoff positioning, because before this season, we didn't even have the inkling of getting into the playoffs. And before that, we were always talking about the lottery around this time. So this is uncharted territory for us. I'm excited for it. And I'm excited for the players and for the Knicks fans. And I'm going to use what you're saying to do something special, because we don't know how far, I think we can go very far, but it's best to title what you said as to doing something special. I believe that we can do something special.
What's that something special, though? I guess that's the question. I don't know what that something special is. I'm saying something special, and I'm only saying something special. I'm only saying something special, in terms of maybe shocking some people. I'm not talking about winning the championship right now.
No, and I agree with you with that. I think we can really shock some people. As a matter of fact, as much as they want to crown Brooklyn as the NBA champions, I think we can beat Brooklyn for the simple reason, the chemistry. We have better chemistry than they do. Yeah, they have the stars. So that's what I'm looking forward to, is going up against these guys. We have to get out of the first round first. But I'm looking ahead, because I believe that we will get out the first round, and we will go up against Brooklyn. And when it happens, when it's written in paper that we're playing Brooklyn, the city is going to be lit. The city is going to be lit.
Okay. Look, I'm gonna be honest. We're gonna get into talking about how far this team can go. We're gonna get into that, but right now, I'm holding my horses on the whole Brooklyn thing, because they have a lot of talent on that team, as far as James Harden, Kyrie, and Kevin Durant. And we can have a lot of chemistry, but when it comes down to the fourth quarter and the person that can knock down the shot over a tough defense, which team has the best players that can do that? You know what I mean? So I think it does come down to that. But before we even let's finish out the game reflection. Then we can get into how far we think this team can go. Just, so now we're here. We beat the Bulls last night, and after sleeping on it last night, how do you reflect back on that game, last night's game? And Steph, good afternoon to you, Steph.
How are you, Sam?
Good.
You're asking Steph. Okay.
No. He was just saying hi.
I was just saying good afternoon.
Oh, okay. Oh, good afternoon. Yeah, good afternoon, Steph. How are you? I'm happy we won. Of course, there could have been some stuff that we could have done better. We were talking about RJ's defense, and it looked like Tibbs really ripped into him in that second quarter. So, and
Kev, when you talk about RJ's defense, what did I tell you in the game preview? What did we talk about? We talked about guys going backdoor on RJ Barrett, right? We had a whole maybe 3 or 4 minute conversation about guys going backdoor on RJ, and it hadn't happened in a while. And then it reared its ugly head again last night, allowing Lauri Markkanen to go backdoor, and Tom Thibodeau was heated.
He was heated. I've seen him heated. He was heated.
Yes, he was heated. And as a matter of fact, for the channel members, I'm doing a little breakdown that I'm going to put out tomorrow for those who are members. That just kind of shows why RJ Barrett got beat backdoor last night. And looking at some of the, video. And you know why Tom Thibodeau is so mad about that play? It's because it's very, very fixable. It is so fixable. It's all about where you position yourself as a defender. When you look at the play, RJ Barrett was kind of in deny mode. But he was so far in deny mode where he was denying it that he let the back door be available. And then he was ball watching. And when you're ball watching, like I said, you got to have your head on a swivel. So you can be right there next to your man. But if you're ball watching, once you turn your head and you got your head looking at the ball for too long, your defender's gone. And that's the reason why you got to put yourself in a position so that you always have the defender's feet in the middle of your feet. Right, so you have your feet positioned so you're a little bit wider than the defender's feet, or you move in a position where you shade the defender to kind of go in the direction that you want them to go. Because you can kind of dictate that. Instead, RJ's kind of denying the ball, leaving that backside open, and Lauri Markkanen gets a couple of cuts to the basket, and Tom Thibodeau was hot. You know what I'm saying? Those backdoor cuts,
he
man.
Was literally man.
And he might have been hot because they may have went over that as part of the game plan.
Exactly.
And when you go over something and then the player does it in the game after you went over it, he probably was extra hot.
Yeah. Extra hot. Had to be extra hot. Steph, how are you feeling today after last night's game?
Sam, I feel really good. I mean, I'll talk about it a little more on the show tomorrow, 5:00. Check me out. But my total assessment of this team has changed. I think I was a little hesitant. Maybe we got to fix this. Maybe, but I'm all in. We're a very good basketball team. And thinking about last night's game, I thought what stood out most for me was the mental toughness. The Knicks just will not go away, and we will always be in a game. It's like we're a tough out. So that's something I came away from the game with. Obi looks much more comfortable, even if he's not putting up the stats that we would like him to. He just looks in flow with the offense, looks much more confident. I still have concern about the shots Randall is taken. And the same thing last night. It wasn't even, as Tony Crow pointed out, shout out to you, Tony. It wasn't even that the shots were bad. It just seemed like he was just twisting his body like unnecessarily.
Yeah.
And yeah, like unnecessarily, like making the shot tougher than it needed to be. And there was one other person, the name escapes me. But overall, I like what I see, and this 6-game road trip is going to tell me a little more.
Yeah.
Are you guys happy with the shot selection of IQ?
His range is becoming pretty unlimited.
Yeah.
And even that shot he missed, it went in and came out. I mean, it was like right there. And the guy is real confident.
Okay.
I mean, when he pulls those deep shots, he's proven to me that he can make it at a high enough clip where I'm okay.
Okay.
And he's no longer, he's going to do it every once in a while. I think he did it once last night. He's no longer searching for the foul when he goes to the basket. I just want him to get a pull up. I just want him to get that pull up because
yes,
there was a point in the previous game against the Suns where he drove to the elbow and he went to pull up. No, he didn't go to pull up. He had to pull up, but he didn't pull up. And instead, he ended up turning the basketball over. Right. And, and I immediately, I jumped on Twitter and I was like, this is the reason why he's got to get a pull up. Because you had the pull up.
I think I got him too. I saw that tweet. Yeah.
Right to the corner, boom. And he had the pull up. But, he doesn't have a pull up in his repertoire. I think he'll get one, though. I think that's going to be something that they worked on with him over the summer, I think. Let me get to a call. Caller, you live. What's popping?
Yeah.
What's up? I'm really glad to. I always watch you guys. Man. I'm a big fan of you guys. So get right into it. Listen, the Knicks is going in the finals, man. I'm a diehard Knicks fan. We going in the finals.
Okay.
Listen, I got faith in my guys. I'm seeing the way how they're playing. They're playing with that chemistry. But we got to toughen up on our defense. The defense is slacking the last couple of games. Even last night's game, it's lacking. So we got to toughen up on that. But I got a good feeling we're going in the finals, man. Watch out, Brooklyn. We coming.
Said the finals. Wow. I mean, listen, that'll be.
I'm going all the way.
Okay.
All the way, baby.
That'll be some historic stuff, man. That'll be some historic stuff right there.
We're going to be the Miami Heat of 2020. The Miami Heat of 2020.
Okay. All right. Looking forward to it. Hey, I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, no problem, man. No problem. You guys have a blessed night.
You too. Appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you for listening in, man. Appreciate it. Yes, call in, ladies and gentlemen, 516-405-2246. Let me get to a super chat here real quick. Big shout out to my man JD. He says, Sim, are you happy with how RJ responded? He reminded me of Popovich getting his best players. You kind of want that relationship. RJ is a dog. I love the way that RJ responded after Tibbs lit into him. And I guess I got a phone call. As I told you, they updated some stuff, and then I don't know if that was one of you guys or if that was me, because I guess that was me. So I guess I got a phone call. Let's go ahead and answer the phone call, and calling you live. What's popping? But before I get to you, caller, let me finish responding to JD. I was very happy with the way that RJ responded, though. He came right out after the timeout and went right down and scored a layup. Went to the basket strong and scored a layup. I was very happy, and that's the signs of somebody with a strong mentality. And that's what you want. You want to create that. You want your players to have that kind of mentality, man. So that was beautiful to see. Calling you live. What's popping?
Salute.
Salute to you, brother. How you feeling?
This is Jay Boogie. How you doing, Sam?
I'm good, man. I feel good, my brother. I feel good.
That's what's up. First thing first, I want to shout you and Stephanie out. Mm-hmm. Stephanie already know I call her
Lauryn Hill of the Knicks podcast. That thing y'all two all together is like Nas and Lauryn Hill. They dropped a classic.
Wow.
Okay.
Respect to that situation, yo.
Well,
Respect.
Don't like that Nas reference.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's big, man. That's honorable right there. Because I mean, you guys can't see it, but behind me, I have a thing filled with like memorabilia and stuff like that. And I got Nas's Illmatic album on vinyl, you know, framed up and sitting up on the thing. And then I got the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill sitting up there as well, because this is one of my favorite albums of all time as well. So, you know, that's a big compliment for me. Thank you, Jay Boogie. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
And I want to salute the Cornerstone. That's my guy right there. You know what I'm saying? Now let me get to some support. Y'all hit them like buttons, man. When I say hit them like buttons, don't just hit that yellow button to give them the thumbs up. Hit that like button, man. We got to get that like buttons all the way up, man, so we can keep the lights on. It ain't all about the bread all the time. Hit the like button. That's the easiest thing. But to get to your situation, what you talking about, teams are in a very serious problem. Throughout this whole season, when people thought we was losing, we was not losing. We was taking lessons, and we was getting a lot of experience. The experience that we was receiving was learning how to win close games, tight situations. And we got that from teams that know how to close. So now when we play against teams like Chicago that can make a run on us, look like they can come back and win, through the experience that we already have, we know how to close them out. That's why we dress them up and hit them with that dub in the fourth quarter. The fun time, game time, it's over with. We're going to go as far as Leon Rose decides to take us. This conversation that he's going to have with other players that come in is up to Leon Rose. It's up to World Wide West for his support, who he can bring in for the interviews and everything. The foundation is completely laid, man. Everybody needs to be celebrating, promoting the Knicks everywhere, man. This is our turn, our time, our season. We are all the way up. Fat Joe, all the way up. And this playoffs, it's a lot of teams right here, right now. They're going to start jockeying for position to make sure they don't play us in this first round. They get to start ducking. I love our team. We play hard, and we bounce right back after games, you know what I'm saying, that we take L's from, and right back on the W side. Let's get this 3 days worth of rest. Let's go to the West and handle our business. We're going to take that victory back from Phoenix, just like Dallas. Remember, I told y'all that. We're going to get that and split with them, man. Salute you. I celebrate you to the fullest, man. God bless you and your family. Everybody continue to stay healthy, stay safe. Remember, that thing is out there. It is not racist. It don't care what color, what city, what state, what country are you from. Nowhere. Please stay healthy and safe. Wash your hands, protect your loved ones, you know what I'm saying, and enjoy your life. Anytime your eyelids are unattached, it's a blissful day. God bless you all. Let's go orange and blue. The Knicks. I know the draft is tonight, but we ain't talking about the Denver Broncos. We talking about the New York Knicks. Peace, man.
I got you. I appreciate you, Jay Boog. I appreciate you, my man. Appreciate you. Have a good one. My man, Jay Boog.
What did he say, Sam?
He always comes in. What did he say, crossover? What did he say, crossover?
No, he didn't call me crossover. Too funny.
My man, J Bug, man. I love J Bug, man. So I want to know.
Good guy, man. Great dude.
Yeah, no doubt. I want to know how far, because my man brought it up. He said we're going to the finals. How far do you think this Knicks team can go in the playoffs? This particular team right here, how far can they go in the playoffs?
Ladies first.
Wow, that's a tough question.
It is.
I would not be surprised if we went and got into the second round. I would be a little surprised if we got into the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't think I would be shocked, depending on the matchup, but I would be a little surprised. If we got to the finals, I would be shocked. I got to be honest. I would appreciate it, I would love it, but I would be, yeah, I would be shocked on one hand. I would be shocked on one hand. But in the playoffs, you can't say enough about momentum. Can't say enough about momentum in the playoffs. You get hot at the right time. You start clicking at the right time. Another team get an injury. They not clicking. Well, it can happen. Now, it's easier to happen in those one and done tournament games, like in the NCAA. It's kind of harder in a series, right? Because you're seeing the same team over and over. They're able to make adjustments. But it's possible. I see us getting into the semifinals. And I see us being a tough out in the semifinals.
Okay. Let me get to this caller, then I'm gonna come over to Kev. Caller, same question. How far do you think this Knicks team can go? We're gonna get to the playoffs. Like there's a 98% chance we get to the playoffs, right? Pretty much know we're gonna get into the playoffs. How far do you think this Knicks team can go? Caller, I'm talking to you.
Oh, you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, brother. Can you hear me?
Yeah, first off, hit them like buttons, man. Long time listener of this channel. I love what you guys are doing.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
And with this team, to be honest, I'm thinking second round. And I might sound crazy, but I would rather play Boston than Atlanta, if you understand what I'm saying. Because I see right now, I think we can catch some flipping.
Listen,
look at the way they've been playing as of late.
Listen, I don't like playing Atlanta. I don't like their style of play. I know.
Me too.
I just don't like their style of play. They score a lot, and I get it. And maybe I still just got reservations from earlier in the season, about us scoring, because we've been scoring a lot better now, and we're shooting a lot better. We're shooting the three, but man, teams like Atlanta that have a lot of offensive options and they move the ball well, they move off the ball well, they scare me. Yeah.
Yeah, but I would prefer Philly get number one so we could play them, because I think we have a better chance of beating them than Brooklyn.
Yes, I agree with you. You said we have a better chance of beating Philly in the second round than Brooklyn. I'm with you 100% there. Yeah, Brooklyn.
And I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What piece, via trade or free agency, do you think would catapult us to like real Eastern Conference contenders, or even title contenders? Because my guy right now, I think we should get De'Aaron Fox.
You said De'Aaron Fox?
De'Aaron Fox. Any way we can get him. If it doesn't include RJ or Julius, we should get him.
I don't know what his contract looks like. I think he signed a longer contract not too long ago, right?
Yeah. He just extended during the summertime.
Yeah, he just extended. So I'm not exactly sure what his contract is or how much he makes. But you're going to have to give up some pieces. Now, the good thing is that the Knicks have cap space, right? So if it wasn't working with the Kings, you may not have to trade players if the Knicks thought that he was the guy. You may only have to trade a few players because your cap space could eat up, let's just say, for example, he made $25 million. And you traded two players, and those two players, their salaries equaled $15 million. Well, you can eat the rest of that $10 million into your cap space, right? That is one of the most powerful things about having cap space. People always ask the question, well, what good is the cap space if you have nobody to sign into it or whatever it is? But when it comes to keeping, like, you look at the Knicks now, and we're a good team. And so we have some players we want to keep because you want to keep this thing together. So when it comes to getting free agents, you're like, okay, how are we going to pay for this kind of free agent and that kind of free agent? Well, we have a good team and we have cap space.
And draft picks.
right? So we're in a beautiful position. You know what I mean? So you can trade for a player and not have to give up all of your young players or all of your, rotation pieces. You know what I'm saying? If a team, wants to shed some salary or something like that in this trade because, their star player no longer wanted to be there or whatever the case may be. But to answer your question, depending on if De'Aaron Fox wanted out of Sacramento, which, he hasn't been happy lately with the play. So maybe he does. I would like to have De'Aaron Fox on his team. He's young. He's quick. I love his mid-range pull-up. I think he has a really nice floor game. I think he's going to be a really good point guard in this league for a while. I really like the way that he plays. Kentucky connection. Exactly. I really like the way that he plays. But I do think that a point guard and a scoring wing, a wing that can and I'm not hating on Reggie Bullock at all. I love what Reggie Bullock has done for this team. I've been supporting him all season long. Of course, earlier I wanted him to hit open shots when they were available to him. But his defense, I lauded his defense all season long and always thought that he deserved to be in that starting spot because of his defense. But I do think that. Yeah, I do think we need a wing that you can throw it to in the mid-post, like a Kawhi Leonard type of guy. And I'm not saying Kawhi Leonard, but like a Kawhi Leonard type of guy. One of those type of guys that you can give to in the mid-post and they can just go get it, right? Like a guy that can do it all. He can come off screens and shoot like Reggie Bullock. He can play a two-man game with Julius Randle like Reggie Bullock. He can play defense like Reggie Bullock. But you can also throw him the ball and he can go get a bucket, unlike Reggie Bullock.
I see two guys that can fit that.
So
Bradley Beal, Zach LaVine.
Bradley Beal and Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine is the guy that I would choose
over Beal.
I think I would choose Bradley Beal. I would choose Zach LaVine over Bradley Beal. I'm not hating on Bradley Beal. I like Bradley Beal. It's just that I like that Zach LaVine is 6'6", because that's kind of what I have envisioned in my mind. He's 6'6", and you can give him the ball in the pinch post. Like that high post where Melo used to get the ball. You can give him the ball in that area and let him go to work sometimes. He doesn't always play there, but you can get him the ball there if you need to. He can do all of those things that Reggie Bullock, that I talked about with Reggie Bullock, plus he can get his own shot. Bradley Beal can do all those things too, but, he's like 6'2", 6'3", so I'd rather have someone a little taller, a little longer, because I think it benefits us on defense.
Yeah, but neither guys are like really good defenders like that. I think Bill is a slightly better defender when he wants to be, but I'm not really sure about Zach LaVine.
Yeah, you know what? But like Steph said yesterday, sometimes you might have to give up a little bit of defense to make your offense better, as long as you have a bigger net positive.
You're right.
You know what I mean?
Right,
and you can't discount the Tibbs effect. Oh, say that again?
No, I say you're right. We need that, especially during like playoff times.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think you can discount the Tibbs effect.
Yeah, because look at what he's done for Julius. Prior to this year, nobody thought of Julius as a defender.
Yeah, right. So, you can't discount that. But, hey, my man, I appreciate your call, bro.
Appreciate y'all. Thank you so much.
Yep. Kev, what do you think, man? How far can the Knicks go? Come on, you skipped over it. You didn't want to answer the question. Maybe your boss was coming. I don't know. You didn't want to answer the question. You passed it. You passed it to Steph.
I'm the only one in this building right now, man.
Okay.
Right. But this is going to shock you. And I've told you this before. I think this Knicks team. Yeah, I know you've disagreed with me. Legion of Knicks podcast has disagreed with me. I think this team reminds me of that Detroit Pistons team. That's who I figured, because they didn't really have any quote unquote superstars. The closest one to it was Rashid and Chauncey Billups. All the rest of those guys were just workhorse players that had a strong coach in Larry Brown.
Mm-hmm.
You look at our team like this, we're the same way. So your question is, how far do I think they can go? I think we can go to the NBA Finals. I really do. because we have the chemistry. The team has been together. Tibbs hasn't wavered away. I mean, unless it's a really bad injury, a la Mitchell Robinson. He has never wavered from that starting lineup at all. That's a starting lineup that has been together throughout the whole season. And as much as we wanted for him to waver that starting lineup, he hasn't. Okay. And he flipped DSJ for Derrick Rose. That's a great backup point guard coming off your bench right there. Yeah. So I see this team going to the NBA Finals, whether we win it or not. I would love to. Every Knicks fan would, but that's how far I see them going because of the body of work as well. We've seen the body of work all season.
Okay, so
and you said also the tip too.
Yeah, but let me because I don't disagree with you about that Detroit Pistons team, about the style of play at least. The style of play, I don't disagree with you about the style of play and the fact that the Knicks don't have like superstars and those type of things. Although Julius Randle is threatening to become one. But let me explain something to you about that Pistons team. They won the championship in 03-04, I believe it was. Right? They beat the Lakers 4-1.
Yeah.
But in 2001, 2002.
And that Lakers team.
What? Say that again?
But that Lakers team was heavily.
Yeah. But check it out.
No,
But check it out. In 2001, 2002, the Detroit Pistons, they were 50-32. Right? They went to the semifinals. They made it to the second round. Now, the season before that, they were 32-50. They didn't make the playoffs. All right. In 01-02, they made it to the second rounds. They lost to the Boston Celtics. In 02-03, they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, and they lost to the Nets. They got swept by the Nets. And then finally, in 2003, 2004, they made it to the NBA Finals. All right. My point in bringing all that up is that they had some seasoning. That championship team had some seasoning. They had some time to grow together, right? They had some time to lose together, build trust, know who they can battle with. And throughout all of that time, for 2 years, they had the same coach, and then they ended up getting Larry Brown when they won the championship team. But it took them some time to kind of marinate. You know what I mean? Took them some time to marinate. And, that's what I see with this team. And add pieces. Marinate and add little pieces to augment the team. So, I kind of see that. I can understand what you're saying and how you compare them to that team as far as the players, right? But I don't see them going to the NBA Finals this year.
Okay. Right? But you know what I do see some? Okay. Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, I see them going to the Eastern, the second round, probably. I think they can make it to the second round and then give somebody in the semifinals, give somebody a dogfight and scare them half to death.
And that's okay.
Scare them half to death. That's what I see. And if the Knicks stay in fourth, I think Brooklyn is in first. If we stay in fourth or fifth, and we win, and Brooklyn wins, then you know who we're playing in the second round. That's going to be crazy.
It's going to be lit.
Yeah. And you know what? I think we're past it already. But if we do what I think we can do in the playoffs, we have accelerated our timeline. I think we have anyway. But if you win in the first round and you give that second round team a dogfight, the front office now is probably thinking, hey, we're not that far away. A few more pieces and we can be right there. Look, we went to 6 games in the semifinals, 7 games in the semifinals. If we up our talent, who knows what we can be. So I think that's in process already. But if we do it in the playoffs, I think that kind of solidifies it, that the timeline is accelerating.
Yeah. My only concern, Stephanie and Sim, is that the pieces, the players that got us to where we are right now, I consider those like the nucleus. I wonder what the front office in the off season, who they'll consider going forward, which players they'll keep, and which players they'll say, you know what, they're getting too much of a bag. We're gonna let them go and everything.
I mean,
I will say they have real quick, Steph. They have to, at all intents and purposes, they have to keep Nerlens Noel. They got to keep him. They got to.
You know what, Kev? I think it's plus and minus. How much of what we're doing is the players, how much of it is Tibbs and his and you think about the New England Patriots. They have a culture, they have a system, they got a few core pieces, and then they move everybody else in and out, and they're still able to be successful. Is that where the Knicks are right now? There's no way for us to know. It's kind of early, but I could see them saying, we don't want to give up Noel, but it's plus and minus. If we give up Noel and we're able to get this guy, I think we'll be a better team. And we trust that Tibbs will be able to find a new chemistry with this new roster. Like that could be their thought process.
Yeah. Like unfortunately, I'm already writing off Burks because I think one of these teams is going to give him a huge bag, and we're not going to be able to.
You think so?
Yeah, I do. I think so. I'm listening to other people and to their opinions and everything. I just see him getting a huge bag from a playoff team.
Like how much?
Going there.
Like what's the bag?
I can't.
What's the bag? Because Wendy's has a commercial that says they got a bag commercial. So you talk about a Wendy's bag of food, or you talk about a real purse of money? You know what I'm saying? What's the bag?
No, I think so. I think a bag of some money where.
How much? 10 million, 15 million?
Steph, I don't know. I think it's enough.
But if it's a little bag, like a little purse, maybe we can,
right.
We can
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so I'm going to put it back on y'all. What do you think he's worth?
Let's put it like this. I'm going to say, I think the NBA, the teams around the league know who and what he is already. Right. He's been around for a while. So do I think that another team would want him to play for them? Of course, I think they would. But I don't think they're going to say, hey, this, he's going to be our starting shooting guard and give us 17, 18 a game. I don't think they're looking at him like that. I think they know he's probably going to be a guy that comes off the bench, could start for you sometimes, could be a good guy that fills in when someone's hurt and, gives you 20 a game for a stretch. But ultimately, he's going to be up and down. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I think,
and I'm gonna tell you right now.
Yeah. I was gonna say, does he get more than $5 million? Maybe so, because he's played a large role, but $8 to $10 million, which I think the Knicks can pay.
Okay. Yeah.
I have a question for you. Oh, Sim, and crossover when you finish that.
Russell, really, Steph? What I was going to say was G-Man for Life, A.K. Geritol, mentioned something in the chat about Nerlens Noel. He said that the Celtics and the Nets are coming for him. Watch. So that's another player right there that, we you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they could be. We got to look at that. Yeah. And as a matter of fact, G-Man said in a super chat, thank you for the super chat, by the way. He said there was a question about crossover Kev's height. He said he truly is only 5'2". He's currently sitting on phone books. So we can see the camera right now. Just wanted to let y'all know, don't pick on him.
I am 5'9". I'm 5'9".
That's
just
what
I
a
played
messenger.
in college. And yes, I did play in the county junior college, so I am 5'9". That's what I'm listed at.
Okay, I'm just the messenger. That's all. Shout out to Mr. William 1072. He said we're going far is based on matchups. We win a first round, add momentum, and a top 3 loses in the first round, and then you could see us in the EFC. That is very true. That is very true. Right? You know, let's say, for example, you know, we get the Hawks in the first round and we beat them, and for some odd reason Miami gets Brooklyn, and Miami's up for the task and they beat Brooklyn, and then we meet Miami and we match up well and beat Miami. Like that could happen. Like, you know, a lot of the playoffs is based on matchups and things like that. And Will H Official, thank you for the super chat. He said, "Hey, put some respect on Rip Hamilton." Then he said, "Dusty hat." I don't know if he was talking about you or not, Kev.
Everybody's getting their rocks off today. Y'all go right ahead.
I got a question for you, Sim.
Yeah.
And Kev. The players that we're talking about now, if we have a chemistry, we're talking about next season. Are we overvaluing them because of the chemistry that they have with this team right now? If we kept the same team, would we be able to duplicate this chemistry next year? Should we be thinking about that? Or should we be thinking about them as individual players and whether or not, based on their sole talent level, should we bring them back or not?
See, that's like the toughest question in the book.
Yeah.
It is the toughest question in the book, because even if let's say you replace Reggie Bullock with somebody better and the chemistry doesn't work, now what? Now you could be at the same level just because that chemistry doesn't work. You know, so you got to be very, very picky when you're bringing somebody in to say, we're going to replace this guy. You got to know the person's mindset and those type of things. So it's very hard to say. It's hard to say, which, you know, if you're someone like, let's say the Knicks get to the second round. If you're someone like Leon Rose, you might say, let's run this back and see if we do it again before we make an evaluation. Right? He could, just because he doesn't know.
Yeah.
Right? Because you could play next year and the team just, you know, they got hot this season and it worked, and the next season it's not there anymore. You know what I'm saying? Or you could go into next season, and because the team has this chemistry, instead of starting off the season, well, they started off the season okay this year, 3-1, 5-3, I think. But then instead of losing 5 straight, you know, you go 5-3, and then you win 3 more, and you're 8-3. You lose 2, 8-5, and then you win 4 more, right? And you're 12-5. And because, you know, you were used to winning at the end of the season, now you're winning, and you know, and the team understands how to, you know, do certain things. So it's very hard to say how it goes. And, you know, listen, some players are not going to come back. And let's say they didn't have these major upgrades. But if you pick up just one player, your entire team changes. Yeah. One rotation player, let's say, your entire team changes. You know, so it is really hard to say. So I think they're going to be doing a lot of evaluation, you know, obviously during this stretch, and then during the playoffs, and, you know, just to see how this team reacts. I'm going to say this. If somehow, I'm sorry, Kev, if somehow this team ended up in the Eastern Conference Finals, I don't think they change much. I think they just try to augment the pieces, you know what I'm saying, and say, let's see if we run it back, what happens. You know what I mean? I you know, if they get eliminated in the first round, you know, I think they try to, you know, look for some bigger fish. Second round, probably still look for some bigger fish. But if they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, they may be saying, we just want one guy. We just want a Zach LaVine or a Bradley Beal. That's it. And we think we can get to the finals, you know? So,
yeah. So again, if I think the consensus of a lot of Knicks fans, I think that that one player that they will probably replace is Peyton. He's probably the only one, the rotation player that you're saying. I do believe that I don't know what's going to happen with Frank and Knox. They'll probably be here. They probably won't. I don't care because they're not rotation players. But I do believe that they'll look to upgrade that one position, and they'll. I hope it would be Zach LaVine. I don't know, but they'll upgrade that position, and yeah, that's pretty much
I think it's going to be two positions. But see, I think it's going to be two positions they upgrade.
Okay.
I think it's going to be the point. I think it's going to be the point guard position.
Yeah.
Say that again, Kev.
And Reggie Bullock. The point guard position and the small forward, right?
Yeah, I think it's going to be those two positions that they try to upgrade. Getting in a point guard, and then even if they ended up elevating Derrick Rose to be the starting point guard, you're still going to need another guard. I think that comes off the bench.
You're gonna need two. Because when he get hurt, you're gonna need another starter and a backup.
Exactly.
And that's why also I want to see what this guy Luka does. Pretty much, I don't know. I mean, I know that slim chance that we'll probably that we'll see him in the playoffs, and I know he's not going to be in the summer league or anything like that. So but he's one guy that I want the organization to look at, because from what I've seen from his tapes, he reminds me of another Prigioni, just taller. So all Prigioni wanted to do was just pass, pretty much. That's all he wants to do, and he looks like someone that could work out for us. And like you said yesterday, as long as you can rock, that's all that matters.
That's it. That's all that matters. As long as you can ball, you just got to be able to ball. As long as you can ball and you're doing the things that the team needs you to do, doesn't matter what your name is or where you come from. Doesn't matter. But
but I do think.
Go ahead,
what I was going to say was, but you do have to try and solidify keeping New Orleans, Noel. I think you got to make that a priority, especially like you said. If we get to the Eastern Conference Finals, he's one piece that you rotational piece that you got to keep.
Yeah, well, let me tell you, I think Nerlens Noel, I think he wants the money. I think he wants some money. You know what I'm saying? I think he probably feels upset with himself that he missed out on that big contract that the Mavs offered him a few years ago. Right? And now, I think he feels like he's worth more than $5 million. So we'll see what kind of contract he's asking for and if the Knicks are willing to pay that contract.
Yeah.
So, let me get to a caller. Caller, you live. What's popping?
Sam, what's going on? It's your boy, Uncle Fulio.
What's going on with you, man?
Not much. Just got off work, calling in. I'm not near my video camera right now, but I just want to respond to Kev because I've been listening and Kev's blabbing on about keeping this core intact and not wanting to go out and get anybody. So I gotta address him.
All right.
So first and foremost, okay, you can't sit here and play scared money, Kev. All right, you got to go out and you got to be aggressive. Okay, these teams that are out there are not going to stay put. We got to be able to position ourselves to get better players. And all the contracts that the Knicks have are for the most part, the majority of them, they're 1-year deals. So they're going to be expiring, right? With the way the Knicks are playing right now, a lot of these guys are going to get paid. So if we keep these guys around, that's going to eat into our cap space that we already have, the abundance of cap space that we already have. So, all I'm saying is at some point, I do want to kind of keep a lot of these guys around. But if there's an opportunity for us to go out and get better players, I'm all for that. I'm not saying go out and spend money all willy-nilly and crazy, but at some point you got to improve the team because other teams are going to do that.
Hold up, Sim. I have to ask. Okay, so if you want to do that, you got a team right here that's taking you to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Well,
Maybe
we don't know that.
NBA
We
Finals.
don't know that. We don't know that they're taking us.
We haven't even played a playoff game in 7 years.
We're speculating. We don't know if this team is going to take us to the Eastern Conference Finals. My projection is that they maybe get to the second round and get eliminated, give somebody a tough go of it in the second round. But I mean,
okay, so let's put it out on the table again. Uncle.
But I think Kev did say if we went to the Eastern Conference Finals, right, would you bring it back?
Right.
Exactly.
I mean, if there's an opportunity for us to get better, I'm always going to be looking to get better. You know, I'm always going to be looking to get better. If there's a player out there that can potentially take us to a championship, I'm going to go after that player. You know what I'm saying? I understand if we get to the Eastern Conference Finals or not, but I mean, look. This is the NBA. This is a chess. You know what I mean? You got to go out and you got to position yourself to get the best players. That's why, for the most part, the best players are in the NBA Finals every single season. Like Kev, this isn't 1999. Every season that the Knicks are going to have is not going to be 99 where we, get to the finals and it's going to be this miracle season.
I understand that, but you don't want to give away key pieces that makes your team successful. So I'm gonna ask you again: Are you letting Nerlens Noel walk? Are you letting him walk?
Listen, what I'm saying is, if there's someone out there that's better than Nerlens Noel that can get us to the next level, I'm gonna go after that player. I'm not keeping these guys at all costs. That's not what I'm doing. I want to get better. So if an Andre Drummond is available and we can go out and get him, I would rather have him than Nerlens Noel. I'll tell you that much. And I like Nerlens Noel. But you're not telling me you're taking Nerlens Noel over Andre Drummond.
All right.
At some point, what I'm saying is, we fall in love with
there's something to be said for chemistry,
and we think that these guys are going to be around forever and it's going to be forever. But this is a business, and you have to go out and you have to position yourself to make other moves. You can't fall in love. This is not a love league. It's a business.
Josh, let's say you get those. Let's say we follow your way of thinking, and those players come in, and we're right back to the lottery. What then?
Kev, that's highly unlikely, Kev. That's highly, highly unlikely. The reason why free agency exists is so you can go out to get better. It's not so you can go out and get worse. So now I understand there's exceptions to the rule. Like, for example, the DC, the Wizards, they weren't doing so well, with the acquisition of Russell Westbrook and things like that. That's an exception. That's an anomaly. But for the most part, teams that upgrade their roster in the offseason, they tend to get better. That's why those guys are getting paid that amount of money, because they're worth that, and they takes their team over the top. Look what Phoenix did. Phoenix went out. They went out to go get someone like Chris Paul. They took their team from a 34-win team last season. They're about to win, almost 50 games. So, that's how you do it. That's how you conduct business in the NBA. Every season is not going to be 1999.
That is their one player in CP. That's their one player in CP. Everybody else stayed intact. So what I'm saying is, you don't want to destroy your chemistry in order just to, just make moves. That's what it sounds like.
What makes players great in the NBA is the fact that they're not only great with their talent, but bringing those players in help improve your chemistry.
Let me finish. What I'm saying is that you don't want to destroy the chemistry that you've already developed that's working for you, and then just throw it away. That's what I'm saying.
We haven't played a playoff game yet. The Knicks are not even in the playoffs.
I agree, but we're in the playoffs, right? We're going to be in the playoffs, correct?
I tell you what, Kev. The Knicks can let's say they start losing some games, they get into the play-in game, or you know what? Let's say they get to the first round playoff series and they get swept. Then what?
But I think, Josh, that's what we were saying. If we go out in the first round, they may be more aggressive in terms of how they upgrade the roster. I agree it does need to be upgraded. If you get to the Eastern Conference Finals, they may be a little less aggressive. They may just add a piece here and there. So I think you're right. We have to get into the playoffs and see. And how this team does in the playoff, maybe that will impact what the front office does. You get a team to go to the Eastern Conference Finals. Do you tear it all down, or do you just add pieces to it?
No, I'm not saying tear it all down, but I would like to go after a player that can help us get to the finals. I want to
a player.
Absolutely.
so we can
Absolutely.
improve the team, not so we can regress.
But the way you're making it sound is like but the way you're making it sound is if you want to tear down 3/4 of it. And
that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying you can't just stay put all the time and be conservative and save your money. At some point, you have the cap space. You have to use it. That's all I'm saying.
I wasn't saying so.
Well, we on the same page as far as that's concerned.
Yeah, we definitely on the same page.
I don't think anybody is arguing that.
And I definitely wasn't saying save the money. I definitely wasn't saying that. But I do want us to spend it smart. I do want us to spend it smart.
Yeah. So, hey, ladies and gentlemen, you guys can catch Uncle Fulio tonight.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's not going to be live. It's going to be a video, but you can catch his next episode of The Controversy tonight. So make sure that you be ready for that. All right. And then, of course, tomorrow at 5 p.m., I put the link. I put it at the top of the YouTube chat. So you guys can go there and make sure you set your reminders. The Queen's Court tomorrow, 5 p.m. All right. So make sure that
I got a lot to say, too.
Yeah.
I got a lot to say.
Make sure that you guys are there for that. It's going to be dope, ladies and gentlemen. So tonight, look for the notification for the controversy tonight. Then the Queen's Court tomorrow. I'm putting the link in the chat so you can go ahead over there and set your reminders. And go ahead, Steph. You were getting ready to say something.
Yeah, I was just going to say, and I've said this before, this show, Nothing But Knicks, is everything. I mean, and I'm not saying anything against other content creators, but if you're coming on this panel, you better be on your game. That's
right.
Period. You got to be on your game. I remember telling a friend, I said, Sim is coaching. I've coached in the past, like over 20 years ago. Sim is coaching right now. So we on the panel, and Sim would say, look, we're going up against this team today. How we stopping so-and-so? So I'm telling my friends, I'm like, wow, you better be on it. You better know. You better have a strategy for how you're not sitting up on this panel just saying you watched the game and Randall looked good and this player looked good. Nah, not here. When you come here, you better have some strategy. You better have something to say. Josh, Cornerstone, the other names escape me. Sam. Just keep me on my toes. You better come in here. You better be right. Don't be fiddling around during the game. Watch it. Because you're going to be asked
That's what I'm saying.
Questions.
Watch it.
Tony Crow, all the people on this panel, they bringing it.
That's right.
Even Julian Polite, a.k.a. Geritol.
If I miss somebody, forgive me. But if you on this panel, JD came for a few times, dropped it. I said, wow.
Yeah.
You better bring it.
That's right. You better bring it. You better bring it. But look, I've actually got to get to basketball practice. Starts at 5. I'm gonna be a couple minutes late. I'll be there at 5:15.
Okay.
But we got some other coaches there that they should already be running. I hope they better be already running when I get there. But I've got to head out. I appreciate you all. Again, look for the controversy tonight. The Queen's Court tomorrow. And Saturday I'll probably jump on and do something just, before the game. And of course on Sunday, I'll be doing a game preview and all of that. A game preview and post game and all of that stuff. So I'll be on the lookout, ladies and gentlemen. It's coming. Appreciate you all. Any last words, Steph?
All right. I appreciate you, Sam, Cam, Josh, all the other MBK panelists for bringing it.
Just me, Steph.
Just you. Oh, Andy too, for just challenging it and making this a space that I want to make time to come on. I appreciate y'all.
Appreciate you.
Absolutely.
We appreciate you. Kev?
Nah, man. That's I see us with the body of work that we've done. I could see us going to the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm very proud of this team. No matter what happens, we've been through hell and back for for the past decade, and I'm just really proud of the accomplishments that these guys, have put forth for this team. We have many awards that are going to be coming up: Coach of the Year, Most Improved, first and second teams for all NBA and all defensive. They have done a really good job this year, and I just see our future just going on an upper spiral. I can't say enough about this team right now.
All right,
really
all right. Well, I think everybody feels the same way, man. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate your time. Gonna head out. I got to get to practice. But again, be on the lookout tonight. The controversy. You'll get the notification. The Queen's Court tomorrow. We're out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Be peaceful. Spread love. We out.